Hey gang, how are you guys? I'm just chilling this morning. Let me invite any who would join to the chat. And really quick. I'm gonna hope that audio video is good because I can't really hear anything. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Cool. Pin message. There we go. So I was just thinking I would update my Vivvy, chat with anyone who wanted to come up. Maybe think about some future tanks that I wanted to do, or projects in general, right? Because you can't really call, what do you call it? Like a carnivorous plant terrarium a fish tank, right? It's it's a tank. It's in a glass box, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So this is a 20 extra high show aquarium, which let's just look up the dimensions really quick so that I don't get them wrong. Extra high. 20 by 10 by 23. Yep, that sounds right to me. What is it called? Aqua sprouts. Aqua sprouts garden is ergonomic, if you can't tell. Let's check really quick. Hey Sam, how are you? I wish there was a way that I could have, I guess I could have it on my phone or something. Should I play music on my phone in the stream? Or do you think that's a bad idea? Man, you had to wait a whole 2 minutes for me to notice that you were here. I'm sorry, bro. Uh, YouTube live. YouTube. Copyright free music. That's good advice. Copyright free. Hey, Dusty. Feel free to jump up if you want. I'm just, yeah, I'm just typing away into my thing. There's probably a way to do it through the computer that's better, but royalty free. Always free. $13.99 a month. What does free mean to you? Yeah. I'm gonna trust this one. Unmute. Boom. I'd echo like crazy. I'm on a phone and no headphones. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have. Okay. Thanks, Sam. That's that's a good tip. I like knew that, but I didn't really know the specific difference. Yeah, Dusty had a little bit of an echo, but it wasn't as bad as who was it? Geek? I don't remember what stream that was on, but oh man, I you ever hear certain things that are just normal, ordinary auditory glitches, but for whatever reason, it just gives you the vibe of like a horror movie because of the way that it's like too perfectly off. Freaks me out. Uh, so we've got Oxford's Garden is intended or designed around the 10-gallon tank, right? Um, I did this months ago. I don't remember. Echo drives you insane. Yeah, no, it's weird. Hold on, guys. I gotta. You gotta suck start it. All right, am I back? I still got music playing this whole time in my ear. All right, what was I doing? Presenting, share screen, Vivvy. All right, under gravel filter plate, lava rock. There, eco complete, black, half. Well, I think I used a full bag. I'll go show this off, but I'll make sure that you guys have audio next time. Yeah, I am back. I do gotta suck start it. You're right, Sam. I honestly like it won't work with the spray bar, but if you just suck all the air out of your canister filter, it's done. and then you don't have to worry about it until the next time you clean your canister filter. It's kinda like when you fill up, like well, I gotta go to StreamYard so I can see what I'm doing. Make me big, make me big. Um, it's like when you fill up a water bottle, but not this kind, like a thermos or something. Not a thermos. I'm gonna go grab something better. I'm gonna break the internet again. Watch. Where did it go? Apparently, I'm not gonna grab something better because I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, you either have to pre-fill the hoses or like that is the advantage to a sump compared to a canister filter, right? Is that a sump pump only has to do half the work of, I mean, half the work. Theoretically, a canister filter, if it's set up properly, is siphoning down, so there's not a lot. It doesn't have to pull down, but most people don't. Even if it's set up properly, most people don't do all of the work for the motor. Does that make sense? Or whereas a sump, it's all gravity fed, and then your motor is tuned to pump back up just enough water to like not overflow past your what your overflow can handle. Um, I mean, usually not quite that much, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so like you fill up a water bottle and it then you put the cap on, especially like a flip top style or something like that, where like a shaker bottle, where you're gonna have a bigger lid, like a canister filter has a big lid. And so you put that lid on and there's a fat bubble of air underneath of it. Um, and you have to suck that out through the hoses. That's not all that big. So full bag of Eco Complete. Uh, I used I spent too much money on the Josh's Apple J frogs, calcium enriched millipede soil. Just use garden soil, dude. It's not. I still had to add calcium. Yeah, no, canister filters. I mean, all filters are super confusing when you don't know what you're doing. Even hang on the backs can be pretty confusing. It's you like don't really know. You're like, how does the water get up there? How does it get sucked over? And like if you don't know to prime it, sometimes the directions on a box of filters is not helpful. Like, and chat's not helpful. Like, we're trying, but you know, what does the fucking words on the screen tell you to do? Sam says that you gotta suck start it and then you gotta pump harder. And then this other person says I stop pumping. You know, like chat's not helpful either. It's Drew did his best. Got no doubt about that. He was sweating away up there. But yeah, just use if you're gonna do a dirty tank, just use organic garden soil. You don't need to use the calcium enriched whatever, like great for millipedes. I'm still gonna have to add calcium for my shrimp and things anyways. And then to make sure that my soil didn't like percolate upwards too high, I added a full gallon of oak leaves. Greg? Yeah, if you even get directions, half the time they're not. I'm a fan of this one, whatever this song is. I hope you can hear this funk mix that I found. Yeah, lefty loosey, righty tighty, except if you're in Australia. Mm. Or if it's a Japanese car. I thought we were talking about canister filters. Is it a Hyundai? How do you say that? Hyundai? I think it's Hyundai, but they, had that commercial where they were like, "Hyundai like a Sunday," or something like that, and so but that's not how you say it in what, Korea? I think that's Korean. But yeah, thanks for stopping in, Greg, and Dusty, and Sam, and everyone else in chat. Hey, June. It is too early, you're right. I don't know why I'm awake. I do know why I'm awake. I'm waiting for a tow truck, but I'm not even my mother-in-law is out there with all the insurance information and stuff, and it's not my car, and I'm not on the insurance. So, I don't know, I should have just gone back to bed because I'm gonna be coming home from work in 12 hours, not quite. Is that a knock? Was that my feet? Waiting for shrimp to arrive. Tow truck is here, but she's not. She's just chatting with them, so I think we're good. You got to keep the Pleco. Are these the green Pleco plushies? Those are really cute. I have one of the snails. What kind of shrimp are you gonna get, June? We'll get you set up, Dusty. It might take a minute, but we'll get you some more plushies, don't worry. Fish Fam provides. What are we doing? Gallon of oak leaves, and then I used what was that sand called? Red Fancy Tigers. Those are really gorgeous shrimp. Let's look at some pictures of red fancy tigers really quick. Paradina shrimp. Whoops. Look at those guys. Gorgeous, gorgeous shrimp. Cat just ran past me. Send. All right. DD won the skeleton track. Yeah. Honda and a Tahoe. What is that sand for? Yeah. I looked it up last time. You have a Yukon and a 59 Edsel. Yukons are too big of a vehicle for me, but I ride a bike, so I don't know if too big of a vehicle makes any sense for most people. All right. She's dropping off extra milk for us. Honestly, she's such a helpful mother-in-law, and my mom, I have a, strained relationship with. I don't know, I wouldn't be terribly upset. I got no clue what that sand was called. It doesn't really matter. I wouldn't be that upset if I never had to see her again before she died. She's, burned a lot of bridges in her life, and ours is one of them. But my mother-in-law is a wonderful, charming woman, and she's I understand why people are like, "Oh, you should reconnect with your mom," when my mother-in-law is the way that she is. Because if that's what your mom is like, yeah, you'd wanna reconnect with her even if she fucked up. But that's not what my mom is like, and so, like, I don't know, I'm very grateful to have her in my life. She's very thoughtful and super helpful. What are we doing? Active Flora, there it is, that's the name for it. I don't know why it took me so long to find that. Nature's Ocean Active Flora. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Sometimes people that are called your family do things that make them no longer your family. And like I am one of the people in my family that got least burned by her as far as my finances go. But that doesn't mean that I'm more willing to accept watching her like do that kind of shit. Hey Ian, welcome in. Uh we're talking about how grateful we are that some mothers are mothering to those outside of their families for those of us who do not have great mothers. Exactly, Sam. That is exactly you adopted a better mom because you deserve a better mom, dude. Dude, if anyone wants to jump up, feel free. I'm just chilling right now. I'm updating my Vivvy. By updating, I mean writing it out completely because last time I had it on my phone and it like I left that tab and it uh, wiped the cache or something. I don't know. Oh, I missed a layer. Coconut coir. How do you even say spell that? So under gravel filter plate, coconut coir matte, lava rock layer, eco complete black, soil, oak leaves. All right. What? Yeah, 600. Greenland, 600. Powerhead. My music is gone. Oh, no, play it. Go to the real place. I don't want to listen to ads. Ads are for pleb. And I am nothing if not a plebeian. I'm not selling anything on Vivvy, Ian. Not yet. I mean, probably not for a long time. I just am updating my tank because I can. I'm just talking about my aquaponics system over there, and then I might build this one after. But I don't know. I'm just talking about, yeah, I don't know. Um, Total of 28 gallons of water in the system most of the time. What is it? A CRC? An overflow box did I buy? CS50 siphon overflow. Nice. Building a profile. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just fun to do. And then I can throw the link on the fishfam.link page. So when people ask me about it, I've like typed this up enough times, but it's one of those things where like, why do I keep typing it up instead of just building the profile like I have intended to do? God, I'm sitting here waiting to go to work. I don't know. Use that time. Until on K1, and then kinda what size C-shape pump did I buy again? Too big. Synchro Silent 4.0. Yeah, it's too big. I don't remember what that manifold was that I bought. Aquascape. So the reason I bought that size of pump was A, that it said C-shape pumps are awesome. I just have I don't need as much flow as it puts. It could drain that 10-gallon sump in like, if I had it twisted all the way to full blast, it could drain that 10-gallon sump in like a minute. it maybe less, super fast, way too fast, and my overflow box should be able to handle more flow, but I have a sponge jammed in the front of it to keep, like, duckweed and stuff from flowing down it, um, and that reduces the flow a bit. But yeah, if I was gonna do a smaller pump, it would still be a CJ pump. It's just the CJ 4.0 that I got, I picked because it said it could do 12 feet of height, not just 9 feet of height, which is what like the size down from it said. And I probably didn't need that much. I probably only needed like 5. Um, and then this, let's pull it up out here. Aquascape 88026. Oh, they've got some cool ones. All right. How do I So I got this one from Amazon. Whoops, that's not helpful. No, not the SGC, just the Syncra. It's just like the Syncra is silent. Um, it just looks like a giant pond pump. Uh, that one. So I got this thing, and this one threaded perfectly straight into the top of. I didn't even use the elbow. Um, but it was the size. I wanted to buy a manifold instead of like fucking around with PVC pipe. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do soft plumbing because I'm gonna have to move in a few years. Um, I'm not gonna live in this apartment the rest of my life. So I got this hose barb set up, and it screws right into the top of the CJ 4.0 because of the size of output that the pump was. So that was one of my like deciding factors was ease of yeah AC. I should have gone DC. I would be probably saving a lot of power and not dumping as much heat into the water. And I would have control over the flow with more than just the ball valve that's on that little manifold. But, you know, that would require forethought and knowledge of what DC pumps were. I like did a whole bunch of research into reef stuff, but I like completely disregarded. It was all about plumbing. It was none of it was about the pumps because I was like, I want the CJ silent pump, and I had already made that decision in my head. Weird stuff, just how people are. But was that changing when I was talking about those? Sorry, I was like clicking buttons, but this is the manifold. There we go. This is the manifold that I'm talking about. Sorry, I did not use the elbow on it because it unscrews. Wanted this little three-way manifold, and one of them goes up to the grow bed, and one of them goes up to the main tank. And the grow bed has a what is I've gone through 4 tank heaters this winter. Yeah, yeah, I don't have a heater on my tank. Um, drop the link for that manifold. Um, it leaks. The like, maybe if you replace the gaskets on it, it would be better. But I will say that like it's not. I'm not stoked for it, but it's the 8826. Go. Why is it so big? This link is too big for my alright. I didn't click share, I just, like, copied it. Is there a share button? Alright. Like, it doesn't leak out the sides, I'm not satisfied with the way the little, like, swivelly, screwy bits work. It doesn't leak out the pump, but I have the elbow is used in a different spot, and it leaks out the elbow, so, I don't know. It's not awful, but it's also not it's 15.85 on Chewy too if you order stuff on Chewy. Might be able to throw it onto one of those, reoccurring orders and save a penny. Um, that's weird. So I got one of these things on it, but I can't find the one that I'm looking for, which isn't that big of a deal, but I've got, like, a hose timer on the other end, so my pump is always on, and one of those barbs is flowing up into yeah, I would build one, Ian. If you unless the carbon reactor and UV already use hose barb hookups, you're probably better off hooking it in with, like, what are they called? Unions? Yeah, like these guys. You're probably better off having those be your connections because, then you can still unscrew your carbon reactor or your UV, and I mean, you know all of this stuff. I know that I don't know anything you don't. Hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. It's hose connections? I mean, maybe. You still might be better off building your own, but yeah, there are hose barbs. It doesn't leak much, but if it was under pressure I have it on the other side of that, timer. So the timer lets water through, and then, so there's not water in that section where the elbow leaks all the time for it to leak that much. But if it was under pressure, I wouldn't really love it. Um, I don't know, words. So, except in your mind. Um, that leads to the, um, tank turn. One leads to a timer regulating the grow. 0 pressure grain barrel timer, 15 minutes. Minutes. Um, Let's look. Plumbing is a lot of fun. It's like Legos, but a lot from working HVAC. Yeah, I bet. So yeah, I know Bulk Reef Supply has some good videos on how to set up your manifold, but this seems a lot smarter to me where you've got those look like needle valves, not ball valves or gate valves. Sorry, not needle. We don't really use needle in this. Those look like gate valves. So you've got a lot more flow control. And yeah, granted, they're just going down into nothing. But if you had those hooked to your media reactors, because that's a hose barb on the other end, you'd be able to regulate. Because I've only got, a ball valve, you've got what, 25, 45 degrees or whatever it is, 90 degrees of change. I don't do math. It's one of those things my brain freezes up on because I tell myself that I don't do math. Yeah. So like this almost looks like those could be reactors, but that also could be um, an ATO setup. But if those are reactors, then each reactor probably wants to be tuned to a slightly different flow level. And you said you had what, a UV carbon reactor and UV. That looks cool. 45 elbows. Oh no, not elbow. I mean, with a ball valve, you only have 90 degrees of adjustment. With a gate valve, you have like 5 or 6 turns, right? Um, as far as how much modulation over the flow you get. There's a Neptune display at the man. Neptune makes the Apex like reef controller system, so of course they're gonna. That's just something else. But yeah, I would use a gate if you're gonna build your own. It might cost a bit more. Yeah, Saints just that's what those unions are for that I was pointing out. Again, Bulk Reef Supply has probably the best, most like intensive, thorough videos on PVC systems. Even if you're not doing reef stuff, it's very, very. They got a lot of information and everything. Bulk. What was it that you wanted last night, Dusty? There's something else I was recommending. Probably just for like their pipes, their bulkheads and things. You said you had a tank that had a whole bunch of holes drilled in it already. So my assumption is you've got like multiple drilled for the outflow and then one, maybe two drilled for the intake. And so, like, yeah, if you don't want to deal with a sump, you can just plug these holes that are in your tank. You're still going to want a bulkhead on them because you aren't going to be able to. Do you own like a caliper? Because if you can get all the sizes, that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be what really does it for you. This set comes with a drill bit for you. Cute. But yeah, you're gonna want to bulkhead each of those, and then you can cap it, or you can have these be capped, and you could have there be like an overflow on the back that you could throw. Like you could use this as like a miniature hang on the back. You know, if you put a little pump in there, have it pump some water back up. It'd be expensive, an expensive hang on the back filter, but you could build a box like that for your thing. It's probably a bee and animal overflow. That's what has the most 20 holes in the back and 2 holes at the bottom. Are you sure that's worth like yeah, it's a 360-gallon tank, but man, a lot of work to get to. Oh, yeah, that's where I'm at. If you've got that many holes in it and then you wanna fill it up with does it have a brace on the top and stuff? You might want a brace on the back, but you definitely want a bulkhead in every single one of those holes, which gets expensive. Like, yeah, upwards of $5 for a good bulkhead. And that's even if you're just yeah, I don't know. Like, if it's already drilled and everything and you've gotta have those bulkheads and stab a pipe in it and cap it off, you might as well run. They are expensive, you keep them, you do not throw them away. 2-inch glass, I mean, it might be a I mean, it's your house, you can flood it if you wanna. I would be worried about that tank. I it would I would maybe build a plywood or a 2 by 4 frame to go across the back and then put, like, some form of foam or something in between. Yeah, 2-inch hole does not take a 2-inch bulkhead. It needs to be like 2 and, an eighth or something like that. But too much too big, and you've got a whole 'nother problem. Too much too big. Your bed is full of expanded clay. Yeah. Oh, no, you'd need like an eighth of an inch more bigger hole, not a 2-inch hole for a 2-inch bulkhead. You need a bigger bulkhead. You know what I'm trying to say. We're saying the same thing, we're just changing the size of, different items. and I'm tired. Just sell it to some schmuck. Make 200 bucks off of a sell it for less than $1 a gallon. No, sell it wait, where do you live again, Dusty? You live in, like, the Midwest? Hey, Bwizzle, welcome in. Glad you could make it. I was gonna say you should sell it to, what do you call him? Bob Steenfot. You sell it to him for less than $1 per gallon, and he'll go anywhere. Um, and that's a giant tank. That's really exciting, Bwizzle. South Dakota. Yeah, you know how much cool plants you could put in a low boy? Are you into, like, carnivorous plants or anything like that? Some of them take a lot of light. Like, my Sarracenia is dying because I have it inside, but this is what mine is supposed to look like when it flowers, is it's got double leaves. Yeah, you don't have to use overflows. Hey, Nona, welcome in. I like that I typed terrarium, and literally all of these ones that have plants in them are full of water. What is the terra part of terrarium? Is that your 40 water box, Ian? Yeah, a reef lowboy would be good for a stingray. That's a good call. Oh boy, reef. They're also good for like what are they? Tide pool imitations? Mangrove paradise. That's super interesting. That's a lot of elbows. So that water is coming straight up and then going straight sideways and then over. Like, I wouldn't wanna drill the bottom of that tank, but it's a lot of elbows. They got mangroves in their little peninsula over here. They built that peninsula island. See? Oh, there's the babies. Hey, 3G, welcome in. Yeah, exactly, Dusty. I see ya. That is, that is a struggle for sure. Dino flaglet issue, they said. Yeah, that is like saltwater has a whole nother level of like parasites and things going on in them. They've not worse, just different. And you gotta that requires a learning curve to get used to too. That's part of why I'm like, well, I don't really know enough about what I'm doing with freshwater. I'm still making mistakes. Why would I jump right into saltwater or brackish too? As much as I want a cool brackish tank. Are there brackish? Is this just a saltwater tank? Are there brackish corals? Yeah, I'm constantly on Craigslist looking at like fish tanks that I'm not gonna spend money on. I saw this one last month that had it was like a custom tank with a big tunnel between two of them, and I was like, it was only like $300 for an 800-gallon tank, but like I don't want to move a tank that's got a freaking is two separate tanks with a tunnel between them that like a bridge like that. Can you imagine? Like, there's no way I'm not breaking that. I'm sorry. Was never a fish tank mover, but I was a mover, and I guarantee you, like, unless you hire a fish tank specialty company, that thing's getting broken. Sorry. No more updates. Bridge tank. Are they three pieces? I don't know. They were like they seemed very concerned about moving it in the Craigslist ad. And I was like, well, if anybody else wants to. No corals live in brackish. Only in the shop. Like as a display tank, or do you think you're gonna sell saltwater fish, Dusty? Resealing's not that tough. You just gotta have a space to do it. I mean, like it it is kind of tough, but it's also just you just kind of do it and then you chest it. And personally, I used to reseal tanks all the time because I always buy them when they got a big crack in the back or something like that. I buy them, get them for free. I don't buy tanks. I either buy tanks new or for yeah, if it's a really good deal, I might buy it. But I either buy a tank brand new, knowing that it's gonna be relatively clean and not have any weird stuff, just display. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. I mean, like again, I'm no fish businessman, but from what I understand, stores that try to broaden their horizons too much and meet all of the like broad customer base tend to not be good enough at any one specific thing. Um, but if you're good at freshwater and cichlids, right, that's your specialty, then you can become the best cichlid store in town, and you might have a cool reef tank that you can recommend any saltwater customers who see your cool reef tank. You'd be like, "This is where I got the corals for that. This is where the fish came for that." She's an Aquarius, but for industrial installation, not saltwater home tanks. Not freshwater home tanks. My daughter moved a huge saltwater tank a few weeks ago. They sent her across Florida to do it with another person. Oh, she's an aquarist. That's really cool, Nona. That's like the coolest kind of plumber. She doesn't have to, she only has to dig through fish shit, you know? She's not going and digging out, that is how it should be. I think we need that specialty a little bit. Everybody has a niche, and like, while I think it's great that World of Wet Pets, for example, has some saltwater fish there, they're predominantly a planted tank and freshwater fish store. Scuba diving and fish shit. Yeah, yeah. But I bet she gets to pet lots of big fish too. You ever see like flounder swim up and they really like to be pet? Or groupers like to be pet too. But it goes into that. Aquarists agree. Oops. Oh, Sam's back. Everybody run. She's having more interaction with the saltwater creatures. Yeah. Western Oregon has one, I guess. Aquarium Sciences bachelor's. Well, that's very kind of you. The short with the moray eel. That's really cool, Nona. I'm gonna pause this music so I can think that joke up again. How do you say it? Aquarist's degree? Yeah, no, you spelled that right, Dusty. Yeah, there you go, Nona. Moray with a AY. What is it? When an eel opens wide and there's more jaws inside, that's a moray. Right? When you dissect a jaw, or, when you meet a new eel and its jaw's pharyngeal, pharyngeal. That's the word. Pharyngeal. That's a moray. Yeah, the 360 cameras really make you look funny too. Cuttlefish and corals. Caves is only freshwater now, and the wet spot is only freshwater. Yeah, there's a place. I mean, I don't know if they're still around. There used to be one out on the edge of Hillsboro. Yeah, it says they're still open. 25th Avenue, Suite 4. Oops. I don't really want it to be my location. Shh. You guys didn't see that. You don't know where I live. They've been around for a while. I've literally never heard anything bad about them, but I also haven't heard anything good. Sunset West Business Park. Oh, it's next to PCH Cables. Yeah, there used to be a like a reptile place out there too, I think. Pay someone to teach me salt tanks. That makes a lot of sense, Dusty. It's probably worth it, but again, keep an eye on like Bulk Reef Supply and some other places like that. But yeah, they're not close to you at all, Ian. They're like, do you know where the Hillsborough Airport is, or the Hillsborough Fairgrounds Max Station? Very interested in Brackish. Yeah, me too. Brackish is super interesting to me. This song's kind of giving me a headache. It's making me like. So I'm done with the music. Sorry, guys. Hope you weren't vibing too hard. Yeah, it's not close at all. Um, you could get to it, but I wouldn't. Sam, you can't do that. Doxer, yeah. You're gonna lose your mod privileges, Sam. You don't want to do that. Why isn't Ian a mod? I should do it from here. Seriously though, if anybody wants to jump up, feel free. Dusty's not a mod either. My mystery snail ate it, dude. It was doing all right for a little while, but the mystery snail and the pond snails, I'm pretty sure that Taiwan lily is completely gone. My tiger hygrophila, I've got. Ow, fuck. I don't know. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I've got one tiny sprig of tiger hygrophila left from what I got from I don't even remember who that was. But my Taiwan lily is completely. I haven't seen a leaf pop out of that in a while. Maybe for this tank, but I don't think. I think I gotta make sure that there's no what do you call them? Get rid of all the pest snails first. This tank's got snail eggs in it that I'm waiting to hatch, and then I'm gonna slowly remove all the snails while I let it grow in. I don't know why I look so dramatic here. Nona says that her Taiwan lilies are looking shit. The leaves are curling under. I think I also might have given the Taiwan lily poor I don't know what you call that, like not a best options because I might have put it too far into the substrate um after it floated up a couple times or something. I probably should have been more careful with it, but to be honest, it was an impulse buy. I'm glad I bought it because it connected me to y'all, but check the link before I demod you. Which one? Everything Koro or the other one? I probably should demod you. That's unacceptable behavior, Sam. You're lucky that my YouTube is muted because I don't want to have an echo. Easy green. All right. How much and how often? Yeah, how often are you supposed to use easy green? Easy green coupe. You got Dusty. Dusty, I wasn't giving him attention. Like, I don't think you understand how we're supposed to manage the trolls. I could have demodded him, I suppose. I super modded Ian so that there was a little bit more. I think we've got 3 super mods in here, and only one of them is Sam, and so that should balance out the troll behavior a little bit. Treatment center is changing chemicals. Oh, that's the worst, Nona. Feels like no matter what you do, you're messing with something. Yeah, I gotta like wait for this grass to grow in better because I've only got it's only been in this tank for like a week, and I think you're supposed to wait 30-40 days for it to fully grow out. I could that's fair, Nona. Sometimes is that how you spell I mean, not to pick on your spelling. I don't care about how you spell. I'm just curious when you say spell Lear like that, what I think is a Lear jet, and that's a different kind of Leary. That would be really funny if you were I don't know, stupid thoughts. But yeah, I was thinking about trimming, but I don't really want to deal with trimming and then getting all the hair grass out. Because then you got all these little tiny needles of hair grass floating around your tank that you gotta scoop up. Plants growing faster, add it daily. Do some math to figure out how much your plants are using in a week, divide by 6. Take a day off of ferts for water changes. Before or after? Do you take a day off after the water change? Or are you saying don't waste your ferts when you know you're going to do a water change? Or both? Dose 1 pump per 10 gallons of water once a week for low light, twice a week for medium light. So Ian says dose daily, but maybe don't do a full pump. I would say dose more frequently but smaller amounts. If you do big doses weekly, you're going to get weird like algae blooms like 2 days out of the week, right? Because you've got spikes in nutrient levels. Don't use ferts when you water change. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Sketty. I'm not trying to make fun of how you spell. I'm curious, what would it mean to be leery in like the Learjet concept? How do you say that? I have too many fish and don't want to lose them over a mistake. Yeah, especially like, does your tank really need fertilizers? Like some of the, I don't know. I don't want to kill my plants, but like, let's be real. One of these things feels pain and suffers in a way, like, I don't know. I'm not saying like we should be torturing plants, but hey, come here, baby. Hi. I got a cat. I got a catto. You don't use ferts, June? Never? What are you doing? Well, I guess you also, like, you've got Oscars, and they're not messy fish, but they're big. You probably are doing most of your nutrient uptake with water changes, right? Or export, that's what they call that, nutrient export. Theoretically, that's why you divide and do some math. Helps with easy green because it's an all-in-one. You can test nitrates and phosphates, and if they're always low and the plants are growing like crazy, more ferts until your tests, until they're no longer testing low and the plants are stabilized, right? I do use ferts for my regular plants. The tank water doesn't have good ferts anymore. Oscars are producing a lot of ferts. Yeah, you're going to need to export that with more than just the plants, and you won't really need to be fertilizing. Just a lot of breathing, producing ammonia with their breathing process, and they're constantly pissing in the water. How long have I been live? 83 minutes? All right. It's 11:30. Timothy, when you think Leary. Yeah. Or like, there's a lot of O'Learys out there. Like, I had a couple teachers with that last name. 3 inch of dirt, 2 inch of sand, and see what happens. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're stocking it with. I wouldn't put anything in a dirted tank, at least not early on, that you are worried about. And dirted tanks do eventually get depleted too, but it's not, I don't think it's as bad as most people seem to act like it is. Yeah, you might want to throw like, so I like, when I do my dirted tanks, I do an under gravel filter, and then so what I'm getting with that is that I'm always having water flow through the tank, or through the substrate, so there's no anaerobic areas, and then you also can add the water to the bottom. Dusty says 5-year turnaround on dirted tank. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I usually don't have tanks last longer than 5 years without doing extensive work to them regardless. 2 to 3 tons of sand than dirt. Yeah, you want it to at least be 50-50, I would think. Leary wrote The Psychedelic Experience, Nona says. Plants and cichlids is possible. Must start the fish with plants as baby fish. Once grown, yeah, they'll rip them apart. Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, so I like to do that because then when I add the water, I'm not disturbing the substrate or the like sand cap off the top. It's gonna be kind of messy no matter what. There's going to be a lot of like humic compounds and tannic compounds in the soil that get dissolved into the water. If you can tell, like this tank is not that's not regular watercolor. That's like brown. Um, I like it like that, but that's a white wall behind that, and it is brown water. Um, Ian doesn't like dirted tanks for that reason. They also tend to be a little more turbid, and you're going to have, when you have higher TDS, you can add sand if you want, Nona. Sometimes adding sand to a tank that's already got water in it is like a lot of a pain, and you can cause bacterial blooms by killing off bacteria on the top. Or like covering up a bunch of mold or something like that. But if you do it carefully, you should be fine. I'm sure there are videos out there that detail how to add substrate to a pre-existing aquascape without disturbing your aquascape too much. I'm pretty sure Alex has a video about that. But yeah, the coconut coir that I put on the bottom to keep my soil from, like, as a soil barrier also adds a lot of tannins to the water. Yeah, you want to lower the water as much as possible because the sand is going to be dusty. Honestly, when you're doing a dirted tank, you might want to only... Yeah. Aqua soil, if you can afford to use aqua soil, it's just head and shoulders better than a dirted tank. I like the theory behind playing with like a yeah, we are keeping water, not keeping fish. That's right, Nona. You're gonna add catappa leaf to the tank you just set up. Catappa leaves are good. You probably have oak leaves near you that are easy to get a hold of and nearly as good as the catappa. And free, right? Yeah, deep sand beds are cool. That's kind of what I was doing with that. I like the idea of mixing sort of the deep sand bed in this dirted tank. But aqua soil is definitely... Cold Water has a recent video adding sand to an existing tank. Yeah, use what you have, Dusty, for sure. Yeah, you don't need dirt to grow good plants. You don't even need root tabs. Like, you can grow good plants in rainbow gravel if you have your setup, if you're stocked properly and everything, and if you do the right plants. But aqua soil is better to plant in for sure. Yeah, George Aquaballs has recently had some struggles with the dirted tanks. Yeah, one of the other things is when you've got high TDS with dirted tanks, yeah, plants will grow in sand or gravel. Like they'll literally grow in anything. You don't need... They're growing on the water, not on the they don't need all the substrate. Like anything the plant is getting from the soil is getting dissolved by the water. and going into it. What I like about turreted tanks is that they frequently already have fungus and like mycelium and things like that from the fungus, and a bunch of micro, like, theoretically turreted tanks don't need a cycling period because they've already got bacteria in the substrate. Do I cycle a turreted tank anyways? Yeah, because I want my plants to grow in. My plants that I have right now seem like they're doing good in just sand, but they've only been planted for 6 days. Yeah, if they were grown in their aquatic stage too, soil is not dirt. Yeah, soil is not dirt. When I say dirted tank, I'm talking about a tank that has garden soil in it. Uh, but there's also, I mean, you could make a tank with dirt. I wouldn't say that bottom feeders necessarily we make soil. Yeah. Yeah, dirt is like a nature thing. Soil is a mixture of things based on what we want. Um, and it may contain sand and gravel and mulch and any number of other things. If you use gravel, can you have enough plants and bottom feeders to keep gravel from getting nasty? Yeah, I would say if you use an under gravel filter, absolutely. If you just use plants, probably you might be lucky. If you use like a little turkey baster from time to time to suck up uneaten food, absolutely. If you don't want to gravel vac at all, and you don't want to do I would say that bottom feeders don't necessarily keep gravel from getting nasty. Bottom feeders poop too. Snails, I swear, snails produce more poop than any of the other things in my tanks. Granted, I have more snails than anything else in my tank, but like the fish poop, no big deal. Fish poop, it's not a big deal. Gravel vacuuming can be fun. Gravel vacuuming through your plants is sometimes a nightmare. But I don't know. Um, I I love under gravel filters, so no, you're not gonna hear me say you shouldn't use an under gravel filter. I would say you should use an under gravel filter um with your plants because, like, oh no, the plants are getting better oxygenated water. You want that around their roots, right? The plants are generating flow paths for your under gravel filter. Oh no, that's gonna suck the mulm and things straight to your roots, where it's gonna get dissolved and flown right into the water, or right in. You know what I'm trying to say, right into your plant. Um, I'm also a big fan of like blackworms and things like that for that reason. That's why people put Malaysian trumpet snails in their tank. Um, and that's my thought is that if, like, well, George recently, Aquaballs, has had some struggles with his dirted tanks and having some die offs. I don't put fish in my tanks first. And well, fish are generally more resilient than some other invertebrates and stuff. If I put a bunch of blackworms or some snails or scuds or something in my tank, in like a dirted tank, especially blackworms or Malaysian trumpet snails, they're going to be digging around underneath the substrate, and anything bad that they're going to find is going to, like, it's going to cause, they're going to die from it. They're invertebrates. They don't have the tolerance that, and like they breathe through their skin and things like that. They don't have, yeah, yeah, George. And you do just a regular dirted tank, right? I'm really big on the undergravel filter because I don't want to deal with hydrogen sulfide like you're talking about. When I pulled my power head out of I was doing some maintenance and I accidentally removed the upflow tube on my like super deep substrate tank over there. And when I pulled that tube out, a bunch of sand fell in the tube and I couldn't get my, like, I messed up and I couldn't get my tube back. Hey, Ian, welcome to the stream.
Hey, what up, Riva? I think I'm saying that right. I always
You are.
forget.
Good job.
Cool.
It's been, I saw you at Fishtoberfest and that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ian's
we didn't
showing.
have a whole lot, but I need to top this off. This has no filter on it right now,
Mm-hmm.
but deep sand bed-ish, about 2 inches in the front. No aqua soil, no dirt.
No aqua soil, no dirt, just natural ferts, right? And I guess you could throw root tabs in there.
Yeah, I do a little bit of root tabs and some liquid ferts.
What kind of quarry is that?
These, oh God, it's been so long. Oh, I can't even remember.
That's okay. They look like a mix of the Julii and the Sturbai.
Agassizi. That's what it is.
Agassizi. Oh yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
those on.
I got these from Redfish Bluefish up in Woodby Island. I don't know how well my audio's turning out.
Oh, you sound great to me. Oh, but yeah, that's what I was trying to say, George. Is as soon as I like messed up with my power head and had the upflow tube pulled out and I couldn't get my stuff set back up and the water flow was no longer going through the bottom of the tank, I started to get those hydrogen sulfide bubbles. I started to have anaerobic bacteria grow in my tank. But as long as you have sufficient water flow through your dirted tank, through the substrate itself, you shouldn't have those anaerobic conditions occur. But if you don't want to be having a power head running in your tank, I don't think that an upflow with the air is probably going to be enough water flow to do that. I might be wrong, but I like power heads.
Power heads are cool.
Yeah. Is that a goby?
Yep, this is a snakeskin goby.
Snakeskin goby?
And I have a blue phantom right there behind the guppy grass.
They're gorgeous fish. Yeah, Dusty was saying he wants to use dirt from his yard. Where was that? I'm planning on using dirt from my own yard and then another tank with aqua soil to see which one that I like more. And then...
All right, I'm back.
And then, yeah, he said he has a box of under gravel filters. But, yeah.
This tank doesn't have any plants in it anymore. Unless you count the BBA.
It's a plant.
It's a field in there.
Yeah, look up, yeah, the flow bars, or what are they called? Like the gyre wave maker Oscars, June.
Oh, yeah.
They're like wide, flat-looking ones. That's what ABC Aquatic Biotopes Creations. Kenny uses something like that in his river tank.
Yeah, those gyro pumps are nice.
Yeah. I mean, they're spendy, but there are some alternatives out there. I don't remember what, because a regular wave maker is just kind of circular. I don't remember what the long style are
Yeah,
called.
the gyros. The long ones are trademarked and patented gyro pumps. But there's
Yeah.
different brands that call them different things. But
Yeah, there's a couple companies that have some competitors, but
yeah. MaxSpec is the company that put a patent on it.
yeah, I mean, if
So
you
the
come up with
MaxSpec
something like
gyros.
that,
I think Red Sea has one. Um, I'm not sure about any others. I use Nero pumps, wave makers. And
there's a
then my protein skimmer has a DC pump, and my return pump is DC.
Jabao makes one that they call a crossflow pump.
Yep, J-Bow makes one. They're the Chinese
Yeah, they're like the
mod.
cheapest that you're going to be able to find.
Yeah,
Max Spec Jump Gyre 4K Flow Pump.
yep.
$229.
That's actually a pretty good price. The Jump series of Max Spec are more budget friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're paying about 250 to 300, that's reasonable for a pump that will last
Yeah.
you 10 years. And Max Spec
Yeah,
is
especially
known
in
for,
saltwater.
yeah,
Ice Cap 4K is 150. The one with the Wi-Fi is almost 400 though.
yeah, you don't need the Wi-Fi ones.
No. Honestly, like if you want that kind of control, don't you already have a Neptune or something?
There is, I don't have one, but yeah, the Neptune Apex is Wi-Fi. And you can pretty much connect any pump to that, any heater, any light,
Yeah.
and control it from an iPad, your phone, your computer.
The Amazon device
Yeah,
does it
that'll
all.
control it too.
I was looking at the Coral View Hydros for a while, but I ended up just going with the one timer instead of trying to have it all be controlled. You know, June, me too. I do want my toaster to be friends with my remote control. Number one killer of pumps in the pool industry was low pH, low alkalinity, and running dry.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet having weird pH fluctuations messes with any of the like lubricants or bearing type stuff that you've got in there.
And the same thing happens on the opposite end of the scale. Your alkalinity gets too high, your calcium gets too high, it starts to participate onto parts of the pump,
Yeah.
like air and some of the pumps.
Is that one of those DC return pumps?
Turn
Oh
on
yeah,
my.
how's your new protein skimmer doing?
Am I back?
Yeah, there we go. We got audio.
All right. Yeah, it's doing good. I cleaned it a couple days ago. Not a deep clean, but I scrubbed the inside of it and the cup.
That's one of those things I heard on the gyre pumps is when you go to clean them, there's like a little rubber gasket or a washer that you have to pull the pump through, and it gets like the rubber on it wears out kind of quick, and so people just don't maintain their pump because it's better to maintain that pump than to have this part broken that you can't order consistently. And it's like a wear part. It's supposed to break eventually, and it's, it's a gasket.
And that's why I don't like the gyro pumps, because they do, the way they're made, they just get dirty too fast and they
Mm-hmm.
lose flow. So you constantly have to clean them to
Yeah.
have optimal flow, or else you just have to keep turning it up every other week. And running your pumps at 100% is not the way to go. That
No.
is how you lower the lifespan of the pump. So all my pumps are running at less than 50, and I don't have any problems. I have had two problems with my Nero 5 though.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped working. It just completely stopped and was blinking red, wouldn't turn back on. So I cleaned it, did a factory reset, magically works again. But like 2 days later, I went to connect to the app so I can change the schedule back to what it
Mm-hmm.
was. It wouldn't connect to the app. So I had to disconnect it and I don't know, do something with the Bluetooth, and I got it to work again.
Yeah. I hate, like, I
But
love
that
the
was the
Wi-Fi and
only
Bluetooth
issue I've
connectivity,
had.
but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where when it doesn't work or when it frequently disconnects, it's so frustrating,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of reason why.
I forgot my camera was on. Oh, you all saw my messy garage.
Oh, you're fine. Dusty's throwing
Oh,
a little shade, but it's in good fun.
it's all right. I know I need to clean it.
It's a garage.
Well, not really a garage. It's my
It's
basement.
it wasn't your bedroom, so we're
No,
good. You know.
I haven't shown this in a while either. I'm on a stream. You want to say hi? No. Puzzle.
Oh, the baby. So we've got a muted Ian, clownfish. I don't remember what that fish was. I think this is the same one he has. What, that dart fish in? He's got a red
Still
tag.
watching Gobi.
Watchman goby.
Yeah. That's lemon. And somewhere in there is his little shrimp buddy. But this is all soft corals. Control board, auto top off.
Oh, is this your 10-gallon?
Yeah.
Super small.
Yeah, it's only 10 gallon from
So
Petco.
what's the difference between soft corals and polyps?
So polyps are a soft coral,
Oh, okay.
like zoas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a soft coral. But stony corals, I don't know, like LPS and sticks, your acros and seriatoporas, montiporas, milliporas. Well, I guess those are an acro. So
Yeah, I don't know anything about corals. I mean, like, I know that they keep algae captive in their cell walls and they force them to slave away and photosynthesize for them and steal their energy and feed
yep.
them sugars. But I don't know much about corals past the symbiotic relationship part. Can you
So
imagine?
the stony corals uptake calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium from the water column.
Yeah.
And as they continually uptake that, it depletes the water column of calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, also potassium, and trace elements. So that's why we have to do water changes frequently in reef tanks to replenish those elements. Or we
Yeah.
do dosing, like I'm starting Alpha Reef. This is a alkalinity, calcium, magnesium with trace elements in one. Kind of like easy green.
Yeah. But for your reef tank.
But for your reef tank. And so
We
far it's
gotta
working
get
good.
on
I'm
that actually.
My
Easy green
alkalinity
for your reef.
was dipping pretty fast every week because
Mm-hmm.
I have a little bit of stony corals in there. Actually, most of them are stony. The only soft corals are the zoas, polyps, and pulsing xenia. But like that guy right there. Hold on, this might be easier if I have a fluorescent stick. Fluorescent sticks are the best for pointing out stuff. So this guy right there,
Yeah.
that is a hammer coral. That is a stony coral. And this guy down there, that is a candy cane, also a stony coral. This guy is a goniastria, also a stony coral. Right there. This is a Duncan coral, which is a stony. You can kind of see his skeleton, and then out of the top are his polyps. But that's a dense
Interesting.
calcium carbonate skeleton that he's building every day. And this one also, I kind of pick him off a little bit and see his face. But yeah, he's kind of really flowy, but he's also considered a stony coral with a base. And then anemones, they're their own thing. He does his own thing.
Yeah, they're not technically a coral, are they?
No, he's a animal, different type. I don't really know much about them, but they're freaking cool.
Yeah, it just says that they're an invertebrate in the Actiniary family. I don't know. And they eat true crabs. None of them fake crabs.
Yep, we
Crab with
got
a C.
got some hermit crabs in there and a pistol shrimp.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
But
your
I need to
pistol shrimp
find
is really
another.
cool.
Yeah, I need to find a goby for my other pistol shrimp in the water box.
Do they
But it's
have?
hard finding. Yeah, there's other gobies. I just got to find the right one that's tank raised because I'm really trying to go all tank raised saltwater fish
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just tired of the wild caught fish coming in sick
Yeah.
because these wholesalers, people that are bringing in fish from imports and then selling them to the fish stores, they are not cleaning their vats every year. And it's really starting to show in the reef stores
Yeah.
and even in the freshwater stores. You noticed a lot of the stuff that's coming from these mass produced farms. I mean, the fish are just weak as
Well, we've
heck.
been talking. Yeah, they've been talking about it in the industry for years at this point, and it's not getting better.
Yeah. So
It's all
I'm
about a quick buck.
really doing my best on tracking down hobbyists that are breeding fish in saltwater. And there
Yeah.
are some companies that are doing it. Like there's a place in Hawaii that's breeding a lot of fish. And there's even a place in like a couple of places throughout America that are doing like different clownfish, gobies,
Yeah, Florida
blennies, and
has
stuff.
a couple different places. They've got a cool. There's the aquaculture place that Alex just did a video on not that long ago, and then there's a really cool coral aquaculturing facility where they're breeding. They're like cultivating corals and propagating corals that are
Yeah,
illegal
that's
to
the
trade because up until that they started doing it in their facility a couple years ago. There was only wild caught sources of those corals.
yeah. There's also a really cool foundation in Florida, the Florida Reef Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty much built a coral bank for the Florida corals because there's a disease going on with the stony corals and it's just wiping them out. But they're doing really successful with them. They're in digits of species of what they're able to save and sexually propagate, not asexually by fragging and cutting them up, but actually getting them to sexual maturity and watching them produce embryos and little coral babies and actually producing them.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. That's like, I mean, it's admirable, right? It's not just super cool. Like, we gotta preserve all those little areas of the wild that we can, even if it's only in a seed bank or something. Hello, Adele. Welcome in.
Yeah, and Florida has some unique stony corals that might not be super flashy and they might be brown or tan or whatever, but still, they don't need to go. And it's a really cool foundation, I think.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, we've got to have more of those. I mean, like, when we talk about corals that are being harvested in like Thailand and things like that, like, we have no way of knowing whether they're actually sustainably harvested or not. And same thing with fish. Like, I would love to buy freshwater bred pea puffers from hobbyists, but there's basically no pea puffers in the hobby that are not wild caught, um, which means that you're getting a puffer that was caught in an estuary and they're calling it a freshwater. They're calling it a freshwater puffer, or they're calling it a brackish puffer, and they have no fucking clue what kind of puffer it is. I
Yeah,
need coffee
I've seen
too.
I've seen
Sorry.
fajakas labeled as peas,
Yeah. No, like
like little
sometimes you'll look at
baby
them and you're
1 inch
like,
fajakas, and I'm like, what are you doing?
that. Well, that's clearly the wrong marking, but I don't know. I am probably gonna have to head soonish. My fiance is due home in the next 20 minutes or so, um, and I've been live for, what are we looking at now? 118 minutes. So
158 or an hour and 58
158.
minutes.
Is it just being weird on me? Too long.
On almost 2 hours.
All right, just chilling in the morning. Not really. Don't really have any plans. Just got to go to work today. What you doing, Luce? Come over here. Ugh. Cat time. Cat time. Fajaka marked as a pea puffer. Yeah, they'll sell anything, man. They'll be like, you can put that common pleco in a 5-gallon tank. It'll be fine. Oscars only grow to the size of the tank that you give them. Have a good day, Dusty. I've had experienced fish keepers tell me that Oscars won. Oh, they only grow to the size of the tank you give them. All right. Well, I hope work goes smoothly, Adele and Ian. I don't know why you're hanging out with me at all. I thought your work schedule
Dog.
changed and you should be at work right now.
I should be, but they change my schedule all the time. And I wasn't actually supposed to work today, but they're like, hey, we got extra hours at 2 o'clock. I'm like, cool, I'll work.
Yeah, I mean, extra hours are extra hours.
Yep.
I've been trying to get them to like shift my shift forward a couple hours so that if they want overtime, I can just stay late instead of being surprised when they're like, "Hey, can you come in early the rest of this week or something?" I would just rather come in the same time and sometimes stay a little bit later, but they don't want to do that. There's too many. There's like a bunch of other people that kind of do that, or they work from like noon to 8 or something like that, or 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure he hasn't fallen and he's all right out there, Sarah. You don't want him to be wasting away. He probably just got really focused on something. He's alive. Okay. But yeah, we've got people that work from like 12 to 8:30 and I come in at 2 and I'm like I wouldn't mind coming in at noon. It would not be that bad. But instead, they're like, "No, we want those people that come in at 12 to be coming in at 2 and they're not." And I'm like, "Well, why do I have to follow the rules?" But I don't know.
Yeah. I just try to pick up the hours when I can. I'm only working part-time right now.
Oh yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's nice in some ways. He has a webinar. Webinars are more important than lunch? No, no. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a day. Thanks for showing off all your tanks.
Thanks. Wasn't all of them, but some of them.
Well, yeah, you showed us a couple. You and talking to me about corals and stuff. I want to keep. I've always kind of thought it would be cool to have a lichen, like specific terrarium, like not so much mosses, just lichens, which are sort of like corals because they also keep algae captive inside their cells.
Lichens are really cool. You could build like a whole garden ecosystem out of lichen, different lichen species.
Yeah, no, like there's so many different kinds, and I don't know. I feel like starting a project like that is how you get more and more information on it. It's how you learn about it. What's your baby called?
This one's Cat in Boots, and then that one's Felix.
That one's Felix and Cat in
Yeah.
Boots. This gray one here that's usually hanging out with me is Lucy, and we got a tuxedo tabby little menace running around the apartment that is named Lola.
Yeah. She is the mama, and is her son. He's my baby. Had him since he was 2 weeks,
Oh, that's too much.
and he's about 9 years old. He's getting old and big. He's like twice the size of his mom.
Yeah. I had Lucy and another cat that I'm pretty sure was from the same litter that we got free on Craigslist, like, I don't know, in 2015. And then her brother was supposed to be my sister's cat, and then she stopped taking care of him, and he became my cat for a little while, but it was not really my cat. I was just supposed to take care of him for like a week, and she kind of abandoned him at my place.
Oh,
Um, but he didn't respect me because I was not his owner, and he didn't have a good relationship with me because I didn't think of myself as his owner either, which is my fault, right? If I had been like, I'm going to take care of this cat for the rest of my life, it would have been a different situation. But instead, this cat came in for like what I thought was going to be a week and proceeded to like piss on my bed every fucking day for a month and a half straight or something. And I was like, you got to get rid of your cat, dude. Like, I can't be doing my laundry this frequently.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, the story with my cat, it started with just Boots.
mhm.
The neighbors had her as a kitten and they moved and they just left her. So she started as an outside kitty and we would
Yeah.
have food for her. And then winter came and I was like, all right, I'm sneaking her in the house. And she opened right up to the house. Super sweet. She doesn't bite people or hiss at people. And we've had her ever since. I moved to Arizona after a few years. And when I came back, she had a litter of kittens. They were 2 weeks old. So I gave all the kittens to family members and friends for free
Yeah.
and got both of them fixed because I kept one of the kittens. And yeah, it's been like 8 or 9 years since. Boots is about 13
Yeah.
now.
Somewhere in there.
I just, yeah, she's about 12.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Adele. I don't know how people leave their pets behind like that. I'm glad that you were there to pick up the slack, Ian.
Yeah, I live with my grandparents. They were pretty hesitant about it at first
Yeah.
because they're dog people, but we haven't had a dog in years. And so I was just like, let's take in the cat. And then it turned into two cats.
It could have turned into 8. She had a whole litter.
That was her second litter too.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is her second litter. We got to get him fixed. Ain't
That's
having
true,
no more of
Nona.
this.
When you get a cat for free, the vet bills are, I mean, you don't know what they've got, anything.
Yeah.
I got to go. My fiance is home, so thank you for hanging out.
Oh,
Go jump on like Adele's stream, or Ian, you could stream or something. I don't know. Love you guys. Have a great night.
peace.